Good evening, you're with NewsHour Agenda. Madhavdas GK. First up, a quick look at some breaking news coming in. The India Campaign Committee is set to meet virtually tomorrow at 11 a.m. This is the campaign committee meeting of the India grouping that will be meeting at 11 a.m. I believe it will be the second such meeting, and let's get a quick word from Niyamika on this. Niyamika, take us through what exactly is on the agenda at this particular meeting of India Alliance.
Well, absolutely, as the India Alliance has started making preparations for the 2024 general elections in a full-fledged manner, as tomorrow is going to be a campaign committee meeting, as this is going to be the second meeting of the campaign committee, as in the last meeting also several of the suggestions had come to hold a massive rally at several of the places in the country, which includes Delhi, Guwahati, Chennai or Patna, while some of the leaders had also given suggestions that a rally needs to be done in the poll-bound states, which includes Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. However, the final decision to hold this rally is going to be taken by the coordination committee meeting, which is going to be held on 13th of September. But in tomorrow's meeting, it can be expected that other suggestions to hold campaigning for the 2024 general elections are going to be discussed, in which all of these leaders are going to participate via virtual mode.
Thanks so much for that quick update there, Niyamika. Keep an eye on what's happening at that meeting as well. Tomorrow, we'll keep coming back to you for more updates. And on to story number 1 on the NewsHour Agenda. The stalemate between private transport associations and the Siddaramaiah government has ended for now. However, the bandh called for by the Federation of Karnataka State Private Transport Associations has in fact been concluded. Now, this is of course after the Transport Minister R. Ramlinga Reddy met the striking private transport vehicle drivers and assured them that the government will fulfill their demands in the next 2 months. Remember, the day-long bandh was called by private transporters against the state government's Shakti scheme, which they claimed was causing them huge losses. Owing to the bandh, lakhs of private vehicles, including autos, taxis, maxi cabs, goods vehicles and corporate buses stayed off the roads, causing inconvenience to the public. Let's listen in to one of the transport union workers to understand the issues that they want addressed.
We are protesting against the government, and we have to stop the Rapido bike taxi, Uber bike taxi and Ola bike taxi. That should be has been stopped. Rapido bike taxi, Quick Ride, Zoom car, these companies are giving the service in white plate. That is illegal as a transport department. That's what we have to. We are protesting against this bike taxi and Shakti Yojana.
Even former cricketer Anil Kumble was seen travelling in a BMTC bus from Bengaluru airport to his home as private taxis stayed off the road. The announcement of the strike having been called off came hours after the state government indicated that they would accept demands of private transport associations and saying that it was impossible. That was a position that was maintained earlier. However, the Congress government even dubbed the protesters political, but also assured that it will look into the demands of the transporters.
ಅವ್ರ ಅಹವಾಲು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ರಾಮಲಿಂಗ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅವರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವರು ಈಗ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಗಳು ಇಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಫ್ರೀ. ನಮಗೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ನಾವು. ಇದು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಖಾಸಗಿ ಬಸ್ನವ್ರಿಗೆ ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಂತೆ, ನಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ನಷ್ಟ ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್.
ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಯಾಣಿಕರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಜನೆ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಪ್ರಯಾಣಿಕರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಊಬರು ಆಟೋರವ್ರಿಗೂ ಬಹುಶಃ ಪಾಪ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಿಂಪತಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಇದೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಖಂಡಿತ ಅವರ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರ ಕೂಡ ಗಮನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೇವೆ.
They are asking 10,000 per driver for 3,65,000 drivers. We need 5,500 crores. Is it possible? Only Shakti and tax rise issues are from our government. The rest the demand, what they are asking to solve the demand, all old, 3-4 years old.
And the opposition gun for the Siddaramaiah government, with JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy calling the transporters' protest a side effect of the Congress government's guarantees. He alleged that the unscientific and half-baked Shakti scheme had destroyed the private transport system. The BJP also backed the private transporters and said that the government should do something to address the huge financial losses to them due to the Shakti scheme.
After the introduction of this Shakti Yojana, the private bus operators, taxis, auto rickshaws have suffered huge financial losses. The government, while formulating this scheme, they should have given consideration even for their livelihood. But unfortunately, many of their pleas have went unheeded. Now they are forced to undergo a strike today in Bengaluru and various other places. Government must attend to their problem. While they collect huge amount of tax amount from them, they should also be given some relief for the losses they are being suffered.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us is Madhavdas Rao, spokesperson of the BJP in Karnataka. Mohan Krishna is a former advisor to Chief Minister Bommai. We also have with us Aslam Pasha, spokesperson of the JDS. Dr. Suman C. Raman is a political analyst joining us. With us also on the show is Brajesh Kalapa, leader of the Aam Aadmi Party. But I want to first go across to Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst. And Abdul Razak Khan, certainly, of course, the Shakti scheme is very significant. And nobody can oppose, of course, this kind of scheme which facilitates women. But the point being made over here is that perhaps the government didn't do its homework, because what you've seen what Kumaraswamy says. He says it's a half-baked scheme that has damaged the private transportation sector of Karnataka, and that's why things have come to such a pass that you had to have a big strike today, with virtually paralyzed and got so much of pain for passengers.
Mother, 50 lakh women travel by buses each day. This is real Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao. It is all done in the best interest of the people of Karnataka state, especially empowering the women. We have got stories where girls have registered themselves in far-off colleges just because they're getting free rides so that they can attend good colleges, and this has definitely helped, in women empowerment. The beneficiaries are 50 lakhs, the protesting people are 10 lakhs. No doubt these 10 lakh people are also from the state, but ultimately even these 10 lakh people and their families are also the beneficiaries of various other schemes. Like you take the Shakti scheme, apart from that the Gruha Lakshmi scheme, where the government itself is giving them free rice, giving them 2,000 rupees each month. The government here in Karnataka is here for the people and its welfare and their welfare. As the Chief Minister said, not all demands could be met. There are 30 demands kept by these transport organizers, of which 27 will be taken care of. This is a promise by the Transport Minister, Mr. Ramlingam Reddy. So the other 3 demands which they are asking, like each and every driver should get 10,000 rupees as a bonus benefit every month, which is absolutely unacceptable, not maintainable. Apart from this, whatever the government has promised is definitely going to keep up. The bike taxis should be removed, the Zoom free car rental service and all these things, like where whiteboard cards are being used to give them on a rental basis. All these things can be rectified, can be looked into.
But why was this not done earlier? Abdul Razak Khan, this could have been done before the scheme was implemented. Government policies, if it may have been an election promise, I grant you that. But the point is, look at the impact it's had. The fact that you have 8 lakh vehicles or 7 lakh vehicles, whatever it is, off the roads, this just shows the number of people it has impacted.
10 lakh vehicles,
and clearly, okay, 10 lakh, that just makes it that much more serious. The point is that there should have been some thought. But anyway, let me bring in other spokespersons on that. Madhavdas Rao, BJP spokesperson. Madhu Rao,
I totally agree with you, Madhav, but it is just a 100-day-old government.
Yes, so the 100-day-old government should have planned before actually implementing it. Anyhow, let the BJP come in now. Madhu Rao, do you buy the argument of Abdul Razak Khan, who says that 27 of 30 demands have been accepted by the state government? However, the financial support is something that is not feasible, he says. Your response?
Madhav, good evening, and to all my friends in the panel. I was just listening to my friend Razak. Please let me know which government has accepted the demand. Only Mr. Ramlinga Reddy has told, fine, fair enough, let me have a think over. But having said that, let me tell you something. I think this government from the day one, I think has lost its... May I not be please interrupted kindly? my only say is this. I think from the day one, this government has lost its sense as well as its thought process. Simply because they are lured by this aspect of guarantee. Fair enough. You want to give guarantee? Fair enough. Well, you told it may cost around 28,000 crores. On record in the budget speech, you told it is 50,000 crores. You are not able to mop up even that much of money, and you're not even giving 100 grams of rice properly. And of all, you're taking 11,500 crores from what was earmarked for SC/ST. That fund you're trying to utilize it. And we had left a revenue surplus budget, and now we have a revenue deficit budget. So this government, I'm just trying to understand what is the sense of this government. Let me tell you something. I think if Razak were to say that we cannot meet the demands of those persons, I can understand. He is an individual. How can a chief minister, who is the authoritative person in the state government, say a statement that we cannot heed to these demands? I cannot help. I mean, you are, for God save you, you are the chief minister of the state. You must have, with all humility, you should tell.
The chief minister did not
Can I say,
action,
may I not be interrupted?
One second.
Razak, if I'm interrupted, I will interrupt the whole of the session.
Okay. One second. Gentlemen, calm down. One second. Abdul Razak Khan, you spoke. Nobody interrupted you. You had your say. Now let others also have their say. It's not fair.
Please, yeah.
And there are several panelists who've not even spoken. 1 second. Madhu, quickly complete your point. 20 seconds.
30 seconds I'll finish.
Yes.
My only point is, how can the state government's representative, that to a chief minister, come on record to say that I don't know anything, I cannot help, this is all your, and DK Shivakumar of all says this is politically motivated rally. I mean, for God's sake, what is this Congress government trying to tell? I mean, is this how you're...
What is the proof it's politically motivated, Abdul Razak Khan? Okay, fair question. What's the proof it's politically motivated, Abdul Razak Khan?
Let me tell you one thing, we are at least not banning hijab, we are at least not...
No, answer the question, don't run away, please. No, I asked you a simple, straightforward question. On what basis, Abdul Razak Khan, on what basis is Mr. Shivakumar, he's a responsible person, he's a deputy chief minister. On what basis does he say this is political? Please tell me that.
He only said that this might be politically motivated because of the kind of demands that have been kept in front of the government. So what I'm saying is, ultimately, Madhav, you ask the people of Karnataka, they are happy.
Okay.
All the people, even these 10 lakh protesters are happy. Their families have applied for Shakti scheme.
Okay.
Their families are getting Griha Lakshmi
Even the protesters are happy. This is a very unique protest. Saeed Aslam Pasha, this is a very unique protest where the protesters are also happy. I've never heard of a protest where the protesters are actually the ones who are beneficiaries, allegedly. If you believe Mr. Saeed Aslam, if you believe Mr. Abdul Razak Khan, and he also says that DK Shivakumar said that maybe this is politically motivated. Maybe. Did you hear the maybe?
No, Madhav, looks like this is the first time I beg to differ with Mr. Razak. I think on the TV, this is the first time I beg to differ with Mr. Razak. So Madhav, when there is a welfare scheme brought in, or when there is a guarantee brought in by the ruling government, it is a so-called welfare scheme. You are bringing in the Shakti scheme just to give, free transport to all the women. Wonderful, that's nice. Having said that, there are about 9 to 10 lakh families which are dependent on the private vehicle transport. Are these families not impacted? They are devastated with this welfare scheme. They are devastated with this guarantee which is given. The livelihood of these people, sir, you are talking about 50 lakh beneficiaries. There are about 10 lakh families whose livelihood is devastated because of this scheme. The government definitely has to bring in, they have to come to a dialogue with these unions. Definitely, they have to take care of these families. Don't you know that these 10 lakh families' livelihood is devastated? Is it not the responsibility of the government to take care of this?
Okay.
When you talk about welfare, it has to be a welfare of all the people of this state. It is not only one specific gender or one specific set of people.
Right.
It is the welfare of the people of Karnataka. The government is responsible for the welfare of the people of Karnataka.
One second, Razak, one second. You've spoken. Now let others come in. I want to bring in Brajesh Kalapa. Brajesh Kalapa, the government has to think about the overall impact because you're talking about an entire state's economy. Certainly, the ideals may have been laudable, but look at the chaos that it's causing. The fact that 10 lakh people had to go on strike, and I don't know how many more people are perhaps involved in those industries. It just goes to show that this was a very ham-handed approach in terms of implementing this entire scheme.
See, Madhav, I think as far as the scheme is concerned, I am a great supporter of the scheme for this reason that the Aam Aadmi Party originally thought of this scheme, and this was what you call inspired or copied or whatever you like it by the Congress Party. So therefore, the Aam Aadmi Party originated this scheme in Delhi, but we have had no such problems in Delhi. So this is the first time that such a problem has arisen. And why it has arisen, I don't know. I don't know if there's some politics behind it. But as far as women being given, free access to buses, I think as far as that is concerned, that it's a no-brainer that as far as women are concerned, they as it is earn lesser than their male counterparts.
That's
and after having earned lesser than their male counterparts,
no one's challenging that aspect. The point is the fallout.
No,
Look at the fallout, sir.
Let me complete my thought.
Yeah.
1 minute. So naturally, when they earn lesser than their male counterparts, if they also have to bear the expense of reaching their workplace, I think it's very unfair. So as far as women are concerned, I think this is an outstanding scheme and it certainly helps them. As far as the fact that, many of these Ola drivers and Uber drivers and so on and so forth, half of their family in any case receives the benefit of this scheme. The point is that their revenues have lessened a bit, and I think as a matter of course, the government ought to look into it, whether there is, and it has to be scientific. One has to do a detailed study on it.
Yes.
Because according to me, it's not possible that there would be such a steep fall, right? Because if we have not experienced such a steep fall in either Punjab or in Delhi, where we have already implemented this scheme.
Okay, that's an interesting point.
I think this has to be studied scientifically and let there be a scientific response to this.
Okay, this has to be studied scientifically. Let there be a scientific response to this. Mohan Krishna, why is it that in Punjab and Delhi there's been no sharp fall like we're seeing in Karnataka? Is there a political motive? Still remains a question. Mr. DK Shivakumar is asking that question. Brajesh Kalapa is alluding to that question. How would you respond?
Very good evening to all the panelists and to you also, Madhav. Madhav, I heard very patiently happy protest and very laughable. First thing. Second thing, this reversal, regressive, reformless government which has come to power in last 100 days has seen the first revolt of the people today. Why can't they accept it? It's a failure. Why DK Shivakumar has to call it as a politically motivated? Is it not a people who is unhappy today? Is he not entitled to do any protests? So Sidramaiah says that yes, they are entitled to protest, but we cannot meet the demands. Yes, fine, you cannot meet the demands, but पहले तो आपको अकल होना चाहिए था जब ये कर रहे हैं दूसरों को क्या लगेगा? What is the cascading effect on other things? This they should have thought of it. Why DK Shivakumar calls it politically motivated? And Brajesh Kalapa says,
did this?
First
you had problems questioning whether the Congress.
One second. Let me make a point. 1 second.
I have not interrupted anybody.
Yes.
I have not interrupted anybody.
Yeah. Abdul Razak Khan, there is a panelist who has not yet spoken. Sumansi Raman has not yet spoken. Let Mohan Krishna complete his point. You can come in about 5 minutes. Yeah. Mohan Krishna, quickly complete your point.
I'm coming to the point. He says politically motivated. Politically motivated scheme has been brought to see that the cascading effect happens to the others also. Today, the biggest mistake this government is doing today, and these panelists who are backing Congress government scheme today, they are saying the protest is for simple one reason, Madhav, that is for one time tax what they are asking from the people today for the road tax today.
Okay.
That is not possible. And after all these losses, After all these losses, how can the government ask why this has been brought? Why this has been brought? Because of the deficit budget of 13,000 crores.
Okay. Okay, let me
they
bring
want to mop up the money from
let me bring in Subansi Raman. Subansi Raman. Yeah. Once again, you made a number of points over there. Subansi Raman, there are 3 or 4 major criticisms. One is that the BJP is saying that this was, the budget was revenue positive. Here we are looking at a deficit budget. Number 2, this is what the Prime Minister talks about. They will say when he says revenue politics, because this clearly shows that you make promises and you make these grand government investments in them, which actually are financially unviable and unsustainable. And this protest perhaps goes to show that is what BJP will say. Subansi Raman.
Okay. I'm not going to get into this revenue politics culture because I can point out at least half a dozen instances of freebies being offered in BJP ruled states as well, or by BJP before elections.
So please point it out. No, you must point it out, sir. Why should you avoid the debate? This is very much about that. This is about a culture of freebies that are given by any political party. There's no problem. Please expose the BJP. Please expose the BJP. They're here before you. Please.
One second. Let me first of all ask you: are we beyond the pandemic or not? Is the pandemic behind us? In most countries of the world, the pandemic is behind us. This 80 crore people being given free rations has been continued for such a long time. What is the logic or rationale in all of them continuing? Say 30 or 40 crore would need ongoing continuous support. But why are everybody, are we trying to say that 60% of this, 50% plus of this country would need free food grains every month? So I'm not going to go into the details of this, Madhav, but the point I want to highlight is very simple. In addition to what Brijesh said about Punjab and Delhi, I can point out the example of Tamil Nadu, where this scheme was introduced in 2021. Nothing has happened. Nobody has, called for a bandh, saying auto rickshaw drivers or others are losing revenue.
Okay.
Nothing has happened. Yes, initially there was an anxiety that there would be some loss of revenue, and there has been a dip. There is no doubt. But over a period of time, the fact that this is a very important women empowerment scheme has meant that this scheme has been very positively received. And it is, if the BJP is the BJP, and Mr. Mohan Krishna can clarify, is the BJP saying that this scheme should be rolled back? That women should not be allowed to travel free in buses in Karnataka? Please ask him. Let them commit.
Okay, BJP spokesperson is Mr.
And criticize the scheme.
Yeah, Mohan can answer that, no problem.
Answer.
Mohan Krishna, are you against this? I will also go across to Madhu on that. Mohan Krishna?
Yeah, I will
Are you saying scheme should be rolled back?
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Sumansi Raman, you are asking a question today, why this Free Food Security Act, under Food Security Act, under Garib Kalyan Yojana, the ration has been given to the people of 80 crore people of the country. Why they are continuing, the pandemic is over? This is the question you are asking. Today you are answering the question there. Today we are happily giving it because our growth rate is 7.8%. and our financial condition is very good. And there are inequalities. To make the inequalities, it is irrespective of the gender we have given it. Today in Karnataka, you say happily, please, I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you.
Make your point.
Look, you have said that in Tamil Nadu you have brought in the scheme, there was a dip. What was the dip? How much was the dip? Have you gone and asked auto drivers? People have come from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka from then, and they are working in Karnataka for the betterment of the life. And today Karnataka's growth was 13.4% and national unemployment rate was 4.1%, whereas Karnataka's unemployment rate was 2.1%. I vote and tell you, this kind of schemes which is not possible to sustain for a longer
So you are demanding it be rolled back?
For 1 or 2 months.
So are you demanding a rollback, Mohan Krishna?
Okay.
They want. So
are you demanding a rollback, Mohan Krishna? Yes or no?
Wants.
Once again, you asked a pertinent question, Subansi Raman. Let me ask Mohan Krishna.
They should have done their homework.
So you are not demanding a rollback either?
They should have done their homework.
Yeah.
This reversal and reform.
Okay, once again, Mohan Krishna, you are saying they should have done their homework. Now let Subant respond to you. Yes, Subansi Raman. You made your point, Subansi Raman.
Madhav, you notice that he did not explicitly say that he wants this scheme to be stopped in Karnataka, because obviously they will not, because they know that it's a popular scheme and opposing it will not go down.
Does that mean government should not have done its homework, sir?
Now, the point really
does that mean the state government should not have done its due diligence?
No, government. Look, any scheme that is introduced by the government,
that is what
there
is important,
will be effects
Raman.
on some segments which have to be taken care of. Now, you cannot
scheme,
stop it. This is like saying, look,
any other people.
No, but one simple question. One simple question. Suman Sir, one simple question to you. Just listen to my question. Before the strike happened, there were 2 rounds of meetings. Just listen to my question, and you can answer it. My simple point that I'm making is this. There were 2 rounds of meeting at least, one with the Chief Minister, one with the Transport Minister. If today they are saying that we are agreeing to 27 of the 30 demands, perhaps this could have been avoided. The whole strike, the suffering of the people could have been avoided had the government taken it seriously.
Look, again, there appears to be some element of a political motive behind, this entire thing.
Political motive of whom, sir?
Look, it has been done in 4 states, and in 3 states it goes without any issues.
Let them accept
it has been done in 4 states, and in 3 states it goes without any major problem. One more thing, Madhav, let me just finish.
Into that also.
Madhav, let me just finish.
Okay.
Mr. Krishna, 1 minute.
Okay, Suman, complete your point quickly. But you've not answered my question. I asked you a pointed question and you had no answer.
Let me complete my point.
Why the state government should not take responsibility? You have not answered.
I've answered the question. I've answered it. No. Look, the state government cannot be threatened or blackmailed by this kind of thing. They have got to. This is a wonderful welfare scheme. This is a scheme for women's empowerment, and therefore there is no rollback.
See,
one point, Madhav, just 1 point. Look.
I'll come to you. 1 second. Let's make this point quickly.
I'll give you another analogy. Mobile phones came. Before that, we had lakhs and lakhs of STD, ISD booths all over India. So can you go to the government and say, ban mobile phones, because the STD, ISD booth operators all went out of business. Lakhs of them went out of business.
Okay. Let me bring it.
You do whatever is in the larger good.
Okay. This is a scheme. It's a policy change. And this has happened before. Mohan Krishna, quick response. Go across to Madhu after that. Yes.
It is a clear-cut failure of policy making and policy implementation by the government. Let them accept it. It is very simple. The cascading effects are too much, and even if they are not looking at, even after 4 months, they are not looking at the things means it will grow bigger.
Complete failure of policy making, Abdul Razak Khan. Complete failure of policy making by the state government.
I think my good friends Mohan Krishna and Madhu Rao actually expected DK Shivkumar to come out and say, "Arey, ye sab thodi na possible hai, ye to jumla hai." But ultimately, if you come to Karnataka, you will see hoardings where Mr. Siddaramaiah is smiling and a Kannada caption that says, "Nudidante nadadiddeve." We have practiced what we preached. We have implemented what we promised. So this they cannot digest. They started to criticize right before the elections. Even today they are criticizing. They will keep cribbing for the next 3-4 years. Now I would like to just add one more thing. They did all the best to see to it that the schemes are not implemented by not supplying rice to the state. The state government was very cunning in transferring the same amount of money to each and every beneficiary's account directly. Here is where the BJP is a failure.
Yeah, we are discussing transport today, but since you bring in other freebies, let me bring in Madhu and Rao. Madhu Rao, please respond. 1 second. Mohan Krishna, 1 second. Let me come in on this. Yes.
Madhu Rao. I don't want to take much time. Just give me a minute. The point is so much. I was just listening to Suman C. Raman and also the AAP spokesperson, what happened in Punjab and all. May I remind everyone, Punjab is one of the highest debt GDP ratios which is having. It is more than 40% as per a Bank of Baroda report. Now, what are we talking about? The debt burden is so much. For a moment, we are not telling that you don't give it. Please arrange your finances. You are taking 11,500 crores from my SC/ST money which has been reserved, and that money you are utilizing it, and you are telling that, oh, we have taken I thought Siddaramaiah, who was given 13 times budget, I thought he is an economic wizard. He will be able to mop up the finances. He is not able to mop up finance for 100 grams of rice. What are we talking about? Two, point is simple. Sumant Raman was talking about Tamil Nadu. Sir, Mr. Sumant Raman, kindly don't interrupt, boss. Don't interrupt.
I wish even you apply for the schemes.
Don't get rattled, boss. Don't get rattled. Please hold on. Mr. Sumant Raman, Tamil Nadu, you please tell me what is the debt burden of Tamil Nadu? So please let keep that all those things aside. When aap came into government in Punjab, the very same Congress PCC President Mr. Amarendra Singh Raja Waring, he told, how can you rob Peter to pay Paul? We are not telling that. He told it's an arrogant government. We never said that. He told fraud secured in intimidating the voters. We are not saying that. We are only saying you are not able to mop up the finance.
Scheme stop for women
Can I
of
talk?
Karnataka?
You didn't even answer which state that BJP has given freebies. Please,
Simple,
so let's
sir.
not talk
Yes
about
or
that.
no, sir?
Let me make my point, Mr. Raman.
Yes
I did not
or no?
interrupt you. I did not interrupt you.
Do you
Today, the
want
Karnataka
the scheme
government,
stop for
you are
the women
unaware of the
Karnataka?
fact. You are unaware of the fact that the Secretary of Finance in the Finance Secretary has written a letter saying that we cannot have
All right. Once again.
1,000 crores to this.
Okay, let me bring in Brajesh now. Brajesh, direct questions of the AAP government. Once again, gentlemen, just once again, calm down now. Let me bring in Brajesh Kalapa. Brajesh Kalapa, you're raising questions of financial viability, and the point is that Punjab government itself is one of the most, has the biggest debt ratios in the country as far as any state government is concerned. That's a counter coming in from the BJP. So where is this, on what basis is this argument or criticism of yours founded? That's a question coming in. Please respond to both.
That's a very ridiculous charge, Madhav, as you know, because our government is not very old in Punjab. It's only barely a year old. And therefore, I think you'll have to at least give a couple of years for the government to be assessed in terms of how it has performed on a fiscal basis. So I don't know how you can already assess a government. One. Two is that I would appreciate if the BJP had actually made some contribution to the implementation of this scheme and then made criticism of it.
Okay.
Either reduce the burden of petrol and diesel on the scheme and then made some criticism of it, or at least provided rice in terms of what the promises are to the people of Karnataka. Also, but without having done a
all right. We've lost that line there. But what has the BJP done? What has the BJP done in this sector? Quick response, Mohan Krishna.
Madhav, one quick point.
Yeah. I'm going to come to you once again. Let Mohan respond to that.
Talking about, see, VAT is under state government. They should have reduced it. When the central government reduced, when Mr. Bommai was the chief minister, we reduced it. Whereas the opposition party run states, they did not reduce the VAT. See, that is the effect. Now, if they are so concerned about the people,
Syed Aslam Pasha, previous governments includes your government as well, and your chief minister, your JDS was also in power. What did your government do? If I can ask you the question that Brajesh is putting forth. Previous governments are also responsible for the situation today.
Madhav, the point is very simple here. Nobody is going against the guarantee of the scheme which is brought in by the Congress government. Here, it is being about unbiased when it comes to the welfare schemes. We are talking about 10 lakh families getting impacted because of this Shakti scheme. Is it not the responsibility of the government to bring in some benefit to these people? Is the government getting away by just saying that, no, we cannot take the Shakti scheme? Nobody is wanting you to remove the scheme. But is it not your responsibility to take care of the private transport people?
Okay, completely out of time there. Very, very important debate, certainly, and we'll be seeing how the government responds to this particular crisis. They've already called off the strike, but does that mean that the government will be able to resolve it in coming days as well? I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us on this debate. Madhu and Rao, Mohan Krishna, Aslam Pasha, Sumant Raman, Abdul Razak Khan and Brajesh Kalapa. And on to debate number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the cracker ban is